My childhood was an interesting one, I would say, because I grew up with family. I grew up surrounded by my cousins, my aunts and uncles, and I would say it was happy. We had our problems, but then again, family always has their drama. But it was a happy enough family. It was a good childhood. Ooh, fondest memory? It would definitely have to be Christmas, because my grandfather will spoil us on Christmas. Like, the presents, the amount of presents was as tall as the tree, and there was presents everywhere. Just being together with family, like eating, having fun. We used to play games together on Christmas, dance. That's definitely, Christmas has always been one of my fondest memories.
Mysterious pneumonia outbreak in Wuhan, China.
A new type of coronavirus.
The number of affected countries has tripled.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
When the talk started, I thought it was a joke. I didn't even think too much of it because I was doing so many things. I was in a radio program, so it was just like, you had Super Bowl, and I got to go to Radio Row, so I wasn't thinking much of it until that Friday the 13th that they told us that we were going to be out of school for 2 weeks. And then we're like, okay, a vacation, spring break. We thought it was like a simple vacation. We get 2 weeks off of school. Not a worry in my mind. I really did thought it was a joke. Little did I know. Some of the experience I have, they were tough. I had multiple family members who passed away, and my dad got sick with COVID himself. And being in quarantine, like the four of us, and at the same time as grieving my dad being sick, it was so difficult because some of the family members, she died alone. And just the thought of that, and not being able to hug my cousins that their grandma passed away, was very tough. And seeing my dad was heading in a similar direction was even more tough, because he just kept getting worse. And then you hear all these stories that so many people were dying, and there was a possibility he being one of those stories. The hospital was even telling people, don't tell people that you have COVID. So I could imagine how statistically, how much more deaths there were. Seeing my dad in that state as well is just is he gonna make it? And then being away from family, even in Nicaragua, that passed away, people that passed away. My great-grandfather passed away, and they didn't even let us know that he had passed, and they didn't even tell my own grandmother that her dad passed, and it was tough. Quarantine was tough, because you were so isolated from everyone. You didn't get I didn't get a chance to be around people for a very long time. And then it was my final year of high school. It was even more tough. Ignoring it as much as I possibly could, try to tough it out, because what else could I do? In being home all day, there was very little you could do. I picked up the same habit as most people picked up, was TikTok, to distract themselves. But besides that, I tried my best to not be dead scrolling on TikTok. Try to be as communicative with my friends and try my best even though I was online. That's pretty much all I did. That was the scariest thing ever, because I started college and I was still virtual. Then started my second year of college, coming back. that was nerve-wracking. I developed an social phobia and social anxiety during quarantine. So the transition back was not easy. I don't think it was easy for anyone because we came back, we still had to wear masks. You barely could like be close to people because there were still restrictions. I think it was more terrifying to just come back to the regular what we knew. But for 2 years we knew quarantine, the phones, the internet. Yes, I'm more cautious now and more paranoid than anything else. But at the same time, I live in a way where I have to live life to the fullest. There's so many things that could happen in an instant. Realizing how you gotta appreciate what you have at the same time. I appreciate that. Thank God my dad survived COVID and is here to see me graduate soon, and that's how my mind changed. Like, you have to live fun. I got to meet extraordinary people from everywhere. I underestimated coming to college because I had a mindset of I'm not gonna make friends, and I have all these different friends who make my life so pleasant, and we could learn with each other, and we create different things. And being especially in this specific major of broadcasting, we create different projects together, help each other out, and it's enjoyable. And then I'm traveling more with my family. We're living life very happily instead of fighting, being depressed about it. Hopefully owning something, doing something, being someone's boss, or doing something I love, which is either radio or podcast.